Fine then, I'll let you in on something. Now that you spoke on that press conference, my life is in danger. When help was called, it was already too late. Ronnie Adams is no longer alive. What is with you blaming Alan Russo for the fatal overdose at the beachfront? I know for sure that I've never met you before, but why do you seem so familiar? Bougie hoe. Are the news outlets still reaching out to you? Yep. Worst thing about it is that not one person asked for my autograph. Dad, in the next couple of months, I'll be working public relations. Why can't you just let me respond to Pacho's interview? Because, Alan, someone lost their life. A young man passed away after using substances in a party which you were present at. It's not like I handed the guy anything. I didn't say 2 words to the guy. Not even 1 word. Well, you didn't have to attend the party either. Not only do we have to clean up the mess, we have to make it spotless. Come in. Alan, I've heard that you're in some trouble and I know exactly how to help. If it isn't my favorite lawyer, how can I assist you, Harley? If I'm such a well-loved lawyer, Devontae, then how come you threw my son to the wolves? What are you doing here, especially uninvited? I like to ask you why you're so inhumane. What's with you walking all over the place as if someone's after you? Vivian, I appreciate your willingness to help, but it's really not needed. I beg to differ, unless you actually have a plan for all of this to go away. Just make sure you don't plan to pay for the young man's funeral because the Torres family already has that covered. As a matter of fact, I hope that neither of you plan to throw money at the family. But money can help dry their tears. I'm sure that the young man's family wants him back and money won't bring him back. Your response doesn't surprise me since your family has been fed a silver spoon for generations. Don't you at least plan to make a public apology? That is the plan. What about afterward? We have to show the public that this apology is genuine, like hosting an event that fights against the use of illegal substances. Not only do you have to apologize, but you must show that you're sorry. Is that the sort of thing you should be telling me as my lawyer? Shouldn't you be scolding your son for causing chaos in my hotel? Let's not forget that I never wanted to be your lawyer in the first place. In fact, you gave me no choice. I remember differently. Since you care about your son, then you would keep in mind that his reckless behavior could cause him to end up in a worse situation than the beating he had a couple of months ago. Shouldn't you be asking your younger brother where his humanity is? Since he sold substances to my son, may I remind you that I could have lost Max? And do I have to inform you that Max is in rehab now? In return, you just want my brother to be scared out of his mind. He hasn't admitted it, but I can tell that he's afraid for his life after hearing about the dealer who lost his life in jail. What a shame. The life Ronnie Adams chose usually ends in 2 ways. Either one loses their life or ends up in prison. Unfortunately for him, he got the best of both worlds. Do you find this funny, Heidi? It's nothing. And how come I don't believe you? 'Cause you lost your trust in me on New Year's. Don't forget why I lost my trust in you, Zeke. Don't try to hide it. I've never seen you on edge before. Why do you care, Nichelle? Why does it seem like you're giving me mixed signals? Are you actually suggesting that I take part in community service to make up for some tragedy I wasn't even responsible for? Would you rather go back and forth with the Torres family by blaming one another, or do you want to show the victim's family and Valley Park that you and your family have morals? You have a point, Vivian. Alan, I suggest you do as she suggests and get to work. Don't you dare threaten my son again. I'm not making any threats at all, Harley. As a matter of fact, I think it's a warning. Instead of trying to make me shiver in my boots over something you have no control over, remember what you can control, how the jury perceives me. Next month, I'm going to trial. Put all that aggression into preserving my freedom. Don't worry. You forced a successful defense attorney to represent you. Hello, Devontae and Harley. It's fitting that you're here. Do you see me laughing? And how many times do I have to tell you to respect my title? It's Mrs. Russo to you, and it will always be Mrs. Russo to you until I draw my final breath. I think it's laughable that you're asking the wrong questions to the wrong person. Did you ask your brother if he found it funny to give my son substances? Don't you think Zeke gets it by now? If you just get him out of this situation, I doubt he'll ever touch substances again. To answer your question, Miss Franklin, no, I don't think your brother gets it. And I didn't put him in the situation he's in. He did that all by himself and he chose the consequences. I'll continue to get information out of that thug until Adaku Danjuma is taken down. Is that your end goal, Mrs. Russo? To take down Adaku or make sure that Zeke goes down for selling substances to your son? Get your mind straight, Zeke. I'm not sending you mixed signals whatsoever. Oh, really? So suddenly you care about what I'm going through after you always remind me that you can't trust me no more? Look, I know about the press conference that Commissioner Burke spoke on. There's a trank issue, which I'm sure you know all about. Max almost lost his life and someone else lost their life at Theodosius' palace. I had nothing to do with that, Nichelle. But there's a clear connection. Are you not worried about getting caught? Nah. You see? That's why I can't trust you, because you're not trustworthy. If I were in your shoes, I'd be scared out of my mind. Well, you ain't in my situation. And I'm glad, because if I were, then I'd try to figure out how to get out of it. What am I supposed to do? Go to elementary schools and warn kids of the dangers of illegal substances? That's a wonderful idea, Alan. Now get out of my office and think of some more wonderful ideas to get us out of the hole we're in. I knew I made the right choice hiring you. Vivian, whatever you decide to do in the future, I know for sure that you'll be successful in it. Thank you for such positive words, Isidore. I'll let you get back to your work. I sure do have a successful future ahead of me, big bro. That future shows me taking over our father's empire. What is this? This means you've been served. I hope he's paying you well, Harley. You've got a lot of work ahead of you. You both enjoy the rest of your day. What does it say? Jeremiah Doval is pursuing legal action against me. As a matter of fact, I do want Adaku Danjuma to go down. It was her substances which your brother sold to my child. But you wouldn't mind if Zeke loses his life in the process. Miss Franklin, this entire meeting is a waste of both of our time. You can't convince Ben to change my mind because you broke his heart. There's no way that you're going to change my husband's mind because I was allowed back into the estate. What? Oh, does Gianni not update his whores? I'm back in the family home, honey, and since I refuse to lose my husband to the likes of you, it won't be long until Gianni rips up those divorce papers. I hate to break it to you, Nichelle, but the life I'm in at the moment ain't something that I can just drop when I get bored. It's just as dangerous to walk out. Aren't you at least trying? You're asking too many questions. Even after all this time, I still care about you. I care about you too much to drag you into the mess I'm in.